genre. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Doug and Heidi Show. Hug McGurk coming at you live, right on time. I feel like I should talk like this to this song.
That's right.
It's your time now, baby. Relax. Pour yourself a drink, a cup of tea, and be.
That's right.
Come on in.
All right.
Oh, we were just getting into it.
Well, I know, but then I got to edit something to make
Hello,
it
friends.
make it work. What's going on?
Happy Hump Day. How are you?
Hump day. Sounds naughty.
You've been on your Zoom call all day today. What did you learn? You've been in this mastermind. It's important who you surround yourself with. That's a big idea of one of your big ideas about the company that you keep, how important it is.
Yeah. Good. I think it's always refreshing to hear other people's perspective, what's going on, and how they're addressing, pivoting, and so forth, and getting a chance to just hear where people are at and then offer some insights. And
is there anything you learned today that really stood out to you or you remembered?
Not so much, just kind of like in the marketing world, kind of some ideas to remember and hold present in messing and so forth.
Nice.
But, yeah, it's good.
I was reminded today about boundaries because I always think we have this life is like a continual classroom where we're presented with things we need to remember. Mm-hmm. And, I teach my clients this all the time with boundaries, but I'm so far removed emotionally that it's just very matter of fact. It's like, hey, it's just like radical acceptance. It just is what it is. You just set the boundary, But today,
you get what you get and you don't get upset.
Right. Today, Ellie pitched a fit about something. We were shopping and she wanted this toy and I wasn't going to get it, and told her if she didn't stop, I wasn't going to get the other things she already had in her hands. Well, it was a real regression moment and she wouldn't stop, and so I had to put it back. But just the excruciating, please, I'll do anything. Just get me both toys. Yeah. I'll do anything, And it hurts me to set the boundary. And I forget that sometimes, when you're setting a boundary with people in your life, in these relationships, you love them. Yeah. You still love them. It's still hard for you to say to people, hey, stop it. No, whatever it is. And it really was getting so bad and so emotionally charged. I got really visually upset and said to her, I just want you to understand that even though I'm sad right now, and I'm not
going back and
I'm not getting the toy. Yeah. All right, I'm sad about it, but we ain't getting it, because we can be sad about having to set the boundary, but still hold to it.
Yeah. Well, and I think she's in that moment right now where she's starting to test how far she could push. Just say, this morning, she's like, today's my last day of in-school school. Tomorrow,
so
yeah, tomorrow I'm doing it from home.
We're done here.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know. And it was like, no, we're it's not really how that works. And of course, I had to reframe it for her.
Right, that you're lucky that you get to go to school. It's not ideal scenario, but
the other thing I was trying to explain to her, and she started to get. I said, honey, if you walk into school right now, angry that you're at school, your day is going to be bad. Mm-hmm. But if you go feeling good, you're going to have at least a better day for sure. If you have a nice positive attitude. And she's like, no, that's not true, because yesterday I went in and I thought it was going to suck, and it did. And I'm like, that's what I'm saying.
Not sure again,
yeah, like so I'm saying. The first day, she's like, well, the first day I did go in and I was excited, but they didn't have the playground and they didn't have the, here's what's interesting. She doesn't realize she's anchors. So where she has to sit regularly is really close to the timeout corner. So she feels like she's always in the timeout corner because that's where her desk is. And she doesn't. And so I asked her, again, she's going to learn some negotiation skills. I said, well, why don't you ask, to move? She says, no, she won't move me. I said, well, did you ask? No, I know she won't, because I'm smart. I know things. I said, I understand that. And did you ask? And what do you think about asking? She's like, I already know she's not going to move me. I said, all right, okay, well.
She told me the other day she didn't need to go to school because she knows everything. So, well, that's probably true in your mind.
Yeah.
Speaking of positivity, so this morning I'm scrolling through my Facebook and I see this guy who is from Hay House, who shall remain unnamed. But if I say Hay House, you say power positive thinking, right? Like Louise Hay. Okay.
Right.
So Louise Hay is known for like, you can change your life, this power of affirmations. And so I'm listening to this and I click on, I happen to watch this little snippet and he's going, "You're beautiful. I'm beautiful. You're beautiful. Everybody's beautiful. People love you. People love me. Everybody loves you." And you know what I'm thinking as I'm listening to these affirmations?
Think it music quick
I'm
enough.
literally thinking to myself, false. I'm literally sitting there going, this is I want to swear on your show, but I know that you never do, so I'm not going to. But I want to explain something.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more powerful to have an affirmation that goes, "You're ugly and it's okay." I think it's better to have an affirmation that says, "Not everybody loves you, so what?" Like, let's make that positive
why do you
affirmation
care?
tape.
Why is that important?
Let's make a positive affirmation
not-
CD that's like, no, not everybody does like you. In fact, a lot of people don't. Let's be real.
And it's
lot of
okay.
people don't like, so what? So what? Right? You're not the most attractive person. It's okay. So what? Right? Like,
Okay, let's
there are
try
other
that.
things
Here we
about
go.
you that are good, right? Like, come on.
You're ugly.
And it's okay.
Not everyone's going to like you.
So what?
Most people don't.
Newsflash, right? Like, just
Maybe it's time to give up.
no,
on
Doug,
all-
that's too
going
far. Yeah, you jumped sharp. But I do think that a dose of reality is like a necessary thing mixed in with this power of positivity. Like, that to me is more positive. Embracing the truth is much more positive than trying to create a delusion within myself that if I say it loud enough or long enough, I'll believe it. You know, I mean, I think that's the problem I talk about all the time with the toxic positivity, like being afraid to like look at the reality and go, no, it sucks. It's okay.
Well,
It is what it is.
We start to go down another road, though, and I know it's somewhat semantics. However, what is beautiful?
Okay, that's what he was trying to say. He was like, everything is beautiful in its own way. No, you're ugly. No, it's okay. You're not cute. It's fine.
But
Like, who cares? Like, there's other things to be
to one man's
wonderful about.
trash is another man's treasure.
Okay, but why do I have to talk myself into it? Why can't I just focus on a genuine strength? Like if something's not my thing, okay?
Well, so far what you're talking about is subjectivity. The only one is beauty.
I learned this from John Maxwell. He said, instead of focusing on people's weakness, like you can, let's say somebody, like a skill set that somebody has is not talking. Okay, that's
their skill set. Not talking.
Not talking is not a skill set. Talking is not a skill set. Okay, you could spend months and years with that person, teaching them how to talk and how to communicate and how to effectively persuade people through their voice and through sitting face to face. And let's say they started out as a 4, they'll only ever be a 7 on a scale of 1 to 10. But if you find something they're really good at, and they're good at writing and communicating that way, and you spend some time in them, you take them from an 8 to an 11. Now they're getting somewhere in their lives. So why are we focusing on stuff that we'll never be good at or never?
Well,
why? Why not focus on the reality of like what we really do have?
But most positive affirmations are general enough where they're not trying to say like I'm the best motivational speaker on the planet when you can't talk. It's things like
we're not the best. Even just an affirmation that goes, you are the best. No, you're not. No, you're not. And it's okay. You don't have to be the best. Like, that's the problem. The problem is we want to be the beautiful, the best, the richest. To me, that is the actual issue on the planet. That is the definition of pain and suffering is wanting your life to be anything other than what it is, and not knowing how to love it for what it is and accept it for what it is, so that you can have maybe potentially down the road something different. But all struggle, we're going Buddha now, but all struggle is lived in delusion, attachment to wanting things to be other than what they are. If we can radically accept things as they really are and see them clearly, you're free. Freedom. You're ugly. Okay. So what? Now what? I mean, I'll use ugly.
Because that's so subjective. Most.
Okay, but I'm using ugly because it's easy. okay, like I think that we can. I'm not sure. I'm not a dream crusher. I'm not a dream killer. I'm not
Apparently
saying,
not.
I'm not saying that somebody if somebody's never going to be like they're a singer. Okay, you know this because you were in music for many, many years,
Right.
and so if people have enough money, they can become a singer. Hello, I won't name names, but you made the record, so you know what I'm talking about. But I want to know for sure. Okay, there's a person that would come into the studio. Here you are, this big music producer, engineer guy, and this. You meet people all the time that want to be making in the music industry, and they suck. Let's just be real. They're terrible. Okay, they're not really good. Do you continue to go, yes, singer's in there. You've got it. You've got the passion. You just keep on. Or do you go, hey, you know what? This might not be your thing.
So, all right.
Where's the grace?
Okay,
like,
I unfortunately had a situation kind of like that. I wasn't like if someone's in the studio and
no, they're paying you. Hello, you're amazing.
Well, no,
I'm just kidding.
But that's not my role. That's not my place.
Right.
And my job is to get someone to perform the best, and that's all up here anyway. I did one of the.
No, it's not all up here anyway because people actually do suck. People actually cannot sing.
So the unfortunate I remember. So I was in this band. Yeah. I ended up leaving the band, and they brought on a new singer, and he was not good. Mm-hmm. And I was younger. I was probably 20. He was not good at all. And the way he was talking, he had that bit of delusion where and me in my brilliance decided to kind of share with him a little bit that maybe
it's not your bag,
pinning his all his hopes and dreams on being an out of tune and
mediocre,
poor singer.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to do it the best of my ability to kind of focus on some strengths and what have you, and I crushed him.
Okay, let me give you a little tip here. If you have that much power over somebody, it was already there. Nobody can listen because I'll tell you what, you can say that to somebody who's really committed and delusional, and they won't hear it.
I know.
So like,
all right. So I didn't crush him. I could just tell that he was very upset.
Okay, let me do the purple elephant thing. All right. If we would do this in group, right? When I do group therapy, I'd go around and say, hey, you're a purple elephant, you're a slutty. You're a purple elephant, you're an idiot. Like, and point at people and say these things. And they'd be sitting there, and you could tell the ones I go, you're stupid. And they would go, some of them would go like that. And then some of them would go, right? And the ones that went were the ones that already believed it. And so that's the thing.
But are you saying then that
he probably already felt like?
Are you saying if someone who felt though like they felt they were stupid, that they were stupid?
They were getting confirmation that they already felt that way. Not that they are stupid. No, I'm not saying that. Good point. Good clarification. However, if somebody, it's not our job necessarily
what if their way of reprogramming their mind was to do affirmations saying I'm smart?
Okay.
Would that be bad?
No, it wouldn't be bad, but
they're just ugly.
They might be.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a fine line between, I think, knowing your strengths. Like, it's just this fine line because you don't want to be a dream crusher, but it's like if somebody has a passion for music, okay, but they actually suck as a singer, there are other things you can do in music. There are other ways that you can be involved. It's like, it's the same thing like with coaching. There are, and I certify coaches and train, but I don't bring them on unless I know they have it in them. Like they have the ability to talk, they have the ability to coach, but I won't work with them. But there are a lot of people who will gladly take somebody's money and go, oh, yeah. But it's like they have no real training, they have no real their motives are backwards or skewed or whatever. And I think a lot of the desire to get somewhere or to be the best or to be the most attractive or everybody loves you is like, for me, it's a better place self-esteem to go. Not everybody likes me and it's okay, versus having to talk myself into thinking everybody loves me.
Well, that's a weird.
No, but listen,
what affirmation? It's like Stuart Smalley.
It was. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It was like watching Stuart
that one.
Smalley,
okay, all right. You're talking about that particular one,
So that's what I'm talking about.
General.
It's like, for me, you have a healthy self-esteem if you can say, I suck at that. That's not my bag. I'm not the cutest. I'm not the best. Because if you can't say those things and you're affirming and you're trying to get there, it's like, well, what is he trying to prove, man? Why all the hustle and bustle to be there and not just radically accept your limitations? That, to me, is a person who really is rooted in healthy self-esteem. I know my limitations. I know my strengths. I know my weaknesses. I'm not trying to pretend like everybody's, in love with me. I don't care if people don't like me.
Well, that's that's an unfortunate. Well, that's also a rather
or a narcissist. Because narcissists don't care either.
That's true. All right, so now, so
rabbit hole.
Yeah, the challenge is also in the actual affirmation that what you're sharing, and to have it in a way that is, I think, to your point, I think really what you're getting at as well on some level is, if it's believable and real, like to that delusional point, whereas you don't want to create a
false sense of whatever, and we meet people like that every single day.
What was Stuart Smalley's?
Gosh darn it, people like me.
Yeah.
Right. So last night I recorded the Emmys. Did you guys watch the Emmys? I normally don't even really watch it in real times. Not that these aren't real times, but like in normal times.
I think in general, people are getting a little tired of just the self-congratulating culture.
I'm so tired of it. I think this is where my whole hat is being hung right now.
Yeah,
Like, I'm getting really annoyed with the people that are like, because what I saw was a bunch of celebrities that,
which had a lot of this.
Yeah, and nobody's there.
Fake applause.
It's fine. Like, yeah, why can't you just be with no applause? Why can't you just stand and get your thing and nobody clap and just be like, yeah, all right. Like,
you ugly.
Why do you have to pretend people are
Delusional.
clapping for you? Okay. But so last night we were watching the Emmys and I'm thinking to myself, so here, let me get this straight. Because somebody has chosen a career path to be an actor, okay, or an actress, that gives them
like
domain
they're more important
and reign over your life and your decisions. Because really it was about, hey, I'm in this position, so you need to vote. Hey, I'm in this position, so put your mask on. Hey, I'm in this position, so, and it's kind of like, well, who the are you? Who are you just because you are on a television show to now you have a moral compass that's better than mine? Like,
yes, actors are better than regular people.
Well, thanks for clearing that up.
You didn't realize that? Actors are more important because they memorize lines and act them out like children.
I mean, but that's the thing. It's like, because you're in a position where, and then you said last night, well, because they're on your TV every day. Well, the trash man comes twice a week. But I don't sit outside and go, what do you think about politics, buddy?
But they don't get, of course. But the challenge is when we're watching a television show where we feel like we're like, if we're like Schitt's Creek is
False
one of them.
Relationships,
right? Yeah, so we feel like we're in that. We've been in their living room and we've been emotionally involved and invested into the outcomes of this drama of or comedy or what have you, and then they're being rewarded for enrolling you into another reality, to an altered state, which is fine. That's fantastic. That's wonderful. I'm not everyone should get a trophy, situation. They're people who are accomplishing way more important things, having a much bigger positive impact in the world, that are not being honored. Because we're sitting here watching an empty room filled with people sitting in their houses. We're seeing people sitting in their houses waiting to find out whether they won an award. Which is, I'm not besmirching anyone for having an award ceremony. It's just also, I think, to your point, like sometimes the line gets crossed when they're inserting their own personal views.
Yeah, I don't care what you think about politics. Like, because you're not in my. I don't know your moral compass. I know you played a good role in a part in a play or a movie, but I don't know what you believe as a human. I don't even know you as a human outside of the role you play. So it's just so. And
even that, when they're off camera, they're still playing some sort of role. It's still all.
I think though that I'm a different kind of a person in the sense where I've never been into celebrity stuff. Like I don't care. I genuinely do not care. It doesn't impress me. In fact, when people start talking about all their stuff, I get very turned off. Yeah. Where I'm like, dude, like, please, I'll fall asleep, make this more interesting.
Well, and here's another thing. I mean, we're kind of going off on a little bit of a tangent. Some of the you clicked on and you're like, oh, I don't want to watch this. She thought it was a commercial. The products that were being inserted into the conversations and into the awards, like, and the way they did it, it was like you might as well have just made it a commercial. And I guarantee they're going to use those clips as the commercials in the future.
I think a lot of people didn't really like it because
it was the lowest rated, right?
Like nobody watched it. Everybody was like, I think that the celebrity. What I'm hoping is what has taught us with this coming home, coming inward, slowing down, realizing what's important, or hopefully kind of reflecting through this time, is that the celebrity bubble or the stuff bubble or the competition bubble, the Joneses bubble is being burst. But I think it's going to get worse actually, because if you look at like what the Roaring '20s, followed
the Depression.
So I
the crash
think
in 1929.
I think that or Prohibition. I think that like anytime something bad happens, there's going to be a boom, and it might be like another increase in that. But what I'd love to see is just people not care so much about.
I think one may
kind of stuff,
take a position that all of this that we're experiencing is part of our consciousness shift, and that hopefully it's raising some awareness about other ways of being. And that everyone's having an opportunity to reevaluate.
Stripped down, naked.
What's really interesting, though, is how quickly people forget.
Oh, I know. I said this at the very beginning of the thing. I was like, we're like when you're in it, you feel like it's permanent, like it's never going to end. But I'd said like what even 9/11, something like 9/11, where everybody was like, oh my God, we'll never recover from this. But now everybody holds signs going, never forget, every year, because why? We forget. And I think this will happen too, but I hope you're right. I hope that if anything, there's more of like a shift in consciousness of what we value as a society, where we've been going. And again, who am I? Like I say, who is everybody else? Even who am I to make the judgment? Well,
I think what we're talking about, though, is an awareness to how we're treating each other. And when we're on the receiving or giving end of conversation about perception,
I think
it's one thing to feel assaulted. Yeah, it's like it's like going on, like turning on the television and watching sports or an awards show or anything like that, and be assaulted, like to be told what to believe.
Entertainment, and then I'm getting told what to think.
Yeah, that I think is what is what we're really kind of sharing. And look, this is apolitical. There should be no conversation in those moments. If you want to on your own time, if you've got that celebrity power, then you go on your own Facebook page, on your own website, on whatever, and you go ham. You just go nuts.
And
share
people will
everything.
Search you out.
Yes, but
and say, I want to watch that.
Yeah, if you're wanting to, use your name, use it in those places, not on the places that are kind of designed for everybody to lose themselves. And I'll kind of use the example, and it's really unfortunate. Disney. We one of the things that I used to really love about Disney is the design was that you went there and you forgot about everything. You transported into another world, so much so that you didn't even know what's going on in another part of the park. So you could just be present in that environment, be with your family, and just kind of lose yourself. Well, it kind of took the fun out of it when they've got, social distancing people and, little signs, wear your mask, and little dots to, where you can stand, and reminding you of all the crap we're trying to forget about and just go right into it. So there isn't, there is not the same level of escape. And the same is true with entertainment, whether it be sports, movies, awards shows,
well, there
whatever.
isn't any place to escape, and that's why addiction is on the rise.
Right.
Alcohol use is on the rise, because if I can't have a break being confronted with everybody's opinions every 5 seconds or all this, then I'll find a way to just check out. And that's why checking out is exponentially increased. But at the end of the day, I think that we started this conversation off by thinking about just embracing reality and knowing your strengths, your weaknesses. So we were watching that last night, and instead of like sitting in it,
we turned it off.
I go, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, why am I watching this? Here I am, like complaining about this.
Right.
Click.
Well, that's,
you forget the power you have.
Right, and that's the thing, and
to...
it kind of segues into what I was going to kind of point out is this platform that we're on right now, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube or Periscope or the other ones that we're all on.
Is Periscope a thing?
It still is. We're on it.
Come on, nobody's even.
Yeah, see?
That's not even. Real.
But it was. But point being is that very often people put some energy, and like what Heidi just shared, like they'll see a post about something and then get totally drawn in and like arg, and this is effed up and screw that, and let me go find another article to counterpoint what that person just said and get into all this and really spend a lot of time on that. Yet there'll be other opportunities on the very same platform that offer value, that offer some inspiration, that offer some maybe other ways of thinking about how you could take personal responsibility, and then people are like, next.
I know, but this just really, Doug, this is like full circle moment, because initially when we talked about that power positive thinking and this affirmation stuff, right, and embracing reality, I think the power to see things as they are and then disengage, right? Like not have to be. So that's like another point that I'm making, is that instead of having to confront things all the time and turn it into something that it's not, I can see it for what it is and move on. Mm-hmm. And that is a beautiful blessing in life, is to be able to like, oh, next, delete.
Right, but what I'm saying is that some people are not going next and delete to the bad stuff. They're engaging, and then when there is good stuff, they're not engaging.
Right, exactly. And so and because that is where all the discord is like engaging in the stuff that's not for you, trying to make something out, trying to get blood from a stone, trying to put lipstick on a pig, trying to polish a turd. I'm sorry, my West Virginia took over.
That's okay.
I don't know what to tell you.
We in our studio at Cove City Sound Studios on Long Island, where I made most of my records. Yeah, well, I gotta hook the brothers up. We had a couple of like empty buttons and knobs that had nothing on them, so we would make knobs, and we had like the anti-suck knob. We had the lipstick button. We had the whipped cream button. We had all of these that we could just. Kind of as we were making jokes, like, oh, this sucks. We're like, all right, I'm going to turn up the anti-suck knob, make it suck less.
What was the whipped cream for?
Poop.
Oh, I was thinking something really dirty and disgusting.
No, it's like
you were really into it. Like, hey, man, let's make this better.
No, it is. Let's make this crap better. Like,
okay,
let's put whipped cream on a pile of dew.
Gotcha, roger that. Well, Dougie, I think this has been enlightening, cathartic, and also quite ranty. You can't all be winners, guys. Sometimes we just have to come on.
Sometimes you just have to accept you're ugly.
Sometimes it's ugly. Sometimes it ain't cute. Sometimes it's not beautiful. And it is what it is. So we just want to say thank you so much for spending this time with us today. And we will read your comments, come back in and engage. We're just on way too many platforms right now to think about it.
You don't suck.
You're beautiful.
Exactly the way you aren't.
You are not.
If you could change anything,
change it all, because it all sucks.
Not only are you horrible, you're also miserable.
And broke.
All right. We love you for who you are and who you aren't.
You're amazing.
And,
truly
yes,
awesome.
you are, of course.
Yeah, you probably aren't good at basketball, but you're amazing. Okay?
golf's not your thing.
Right. Speaking is not for you. But,
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, if speaking is for you, and you don't know if it is or not, Doug actually does have a speaker training, but he won't take you if you suck that bad. Okay.
That's right.
So
you
if
just
you're
have to
already,
moderately suck.
if you have like a good beginning, he's going to take you all the way. Okay.
No, this is
No, seriously,
we could help anybody.
Yeah. Breakthroughspeaking.com. BREAKTHRU speaking.com. Okay. Love you guys. Have a great day.
.com. All right.